Hello everybody, welcome to Elite Wellness Warriors. If you haven't seen me before, I am Vishal Soni. It's great to meet you. I am a science specialist who mentors, coaches, trains, teachers around England, and my profession is, of course, as a science teacher. My specialism is biology. So that is where I am coming from, and that's why I am trying to help you in your recovery journey against chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, fibromyalgia. So even if you do not have these particular conditions and you are just interested in food intolerances, then that is what this video is about. So yes, so here we go. IgG reactions. Immunoglobulin G is the particular food intolerance test that they are testing for elevated levels for. To give you a bit of background, a bit of context on this, I've had my blood test done through a company called York Test Laboratories in the UK, and I paid around £279 for this particular test. The test was looking for elevated IgG antibodies, which have been found to be very, very much prevalent in the following items. So whether you can see it there, yes you can. So you can see there is quite an extensive list of things in red where I'm having a reaction to them. So for example, beef, cow's milk, good job, I'm in beef, I'm a Hindu, so that's appropriate. Cow's milk, many people are allergic to cow's milk. Buckwheat, I have recognised that I have an allergy to that as well. I gave that up before this test. But obviously residuals were still left in the digestive system, which is why this test indeed picked it up. Egg white, peanut, chili pepper, potato, no chips, very annoyed. Almonds, could give or take those, not a problem at all. Onions, I'm dead. I'm Asian, I'm dead. So onions are going to be very difficult to eliminate, but I've had to do that for 4 weeks. Has been tough. I've not been able to eat any curries from outside whatsoever, but it's just the nature of the beast, really. Wheat, I gave up ages ago anyway, because I had to, because I am gluten sensitive. Also, I thought, but that's an interesting one. Yeast is another one that I absolutely have to eliminate. Now, the idea behind this particular test is you eliminate these for at least 12 weeks. The reason and the rationale behind this is because, of course, I may have something called leaky gut. And leaky gut, or intestinal permeability as it's actually known in the scientific communities, is where you have food molecules that can get out through the small intestine into the bloodstream, where they should not be as undigested foods. They should be soluble and digested completely in order to be absorbed, so the nutritional benefits of that food can get into the system and go to all of your cells. But of course, in this case, if the food is getting out into your bloodstream where it's not meant to be yet, you can trigger allergic reactions to the, sorry, I'll say that again, not allergies as such, but intolerances. Now, whether something's an allergy or whether it's an intolerance is, I'm not going to get into the semantics of that. But either way, if it can trigger an IgG reaction, then it is affecting your immune system in some way. Many schools of thought are, how do I say it, arguing over this idea, whether this can indeed be the case. I'm not again going to get into the semantics of that, or indeed the rationale behind the differences between those reactions. But what I am going to say is, did this test work for me, or is it working for me? Yes. Am I feeling better? Yes. The idea, as I said, is that it is supposed to reduce the intestinal permeability, as we know, called leaky gut. That allows the gut to heal. Therefore, the food molecules do not go into the bloodstream. Therefore, do not trigger the IgG reactions. Is this going to be forever? No. Can I reintroduce the food? Yes. When can I introduce the food? Maybe after 12 weeks. But it is strictly down to whether you indeed can stomach, for want of a better word, those foods. So we will have to see. So watch the space. It has only been a month for me, but it is working. There are 70 to 80% of all the immunoglobulins in your system are IgGs. They are the smallest of all of them, of which there are 5 in total. And that means that because they are the smallest, they actually can permeate into all of the tissues. So if they are in there and they're not meant to be, then they can indeed cause problems into your tissues. And it is thought Again, this is not confirmed 100%, but it is thought that that can reduce symptoms of ME/CFS because, of course, it will reduce the, I want to say allergenic, I might be shut down in the scientific community for saying that, but I'm going to say allergenic responses to those particular, to the presence of those particular molecules, those IgGs. IgAs fight pathogens. IgDs also activate your basophils and your mast cells against pathogens. IgEs is usually your allergenic one. So that's the one where you respond to things like peanuts and so on and so forth, or indeed you can have those responses to parasites. These, in particular the IgDs and the IgEs, do activate the mast cells, which in turn can degranulate to release histamine. And you think about it, those particular molecules, histamine in particular, can cause massive systemic problems. All of the symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome are indeed linked to histamine. If you look at the symptomology of those two, histamine intolerance and ME/CFS, very closely linked. Very closely linked. So if you do have ME/CFS, please, for goodness sake, have a look at my histamine intolerance video. Check it out. It's on my channel. Just watch and see what you think. And that really is it. This is an insidious and systemic and long-lasting problem. That's ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, of course, I mean. And so you will not find a quick cure for it, but you will, through persistence, find that cure. Do not listen to anybody who tells you that there is not a cure available, because by process of elimination, I was at around about 40% capacity in my worst, most awful days where I was a head of faculty of science. Then I nearly gave up work. I nearly, all the darkest thoughts go on in your mind. It's a really dark illness. You know that, you're watching this, so you probably have that. So food intolerances or sensitivities is simply one piece of the larger puzzle. So it's not going to be the be-all and end-all, though actually if your intolerances or sensitivities are quite severe, then actually it could be. But it's just one piece of a very complex puzzle. So what I want to leave this video by saying is keep going, because you will get there. All right, take care. If you like what you saw and you found it interesting or stimulating mentally, then of course, like, and indeed, if you really liked it that much, subscribe. Do find us on Facebook as well, Elite Wellness Warriors, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.